I will check us out here on Kick. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right, yeah, I don't know what that's. Hello, hello, hello. But I am here. Yeah, I don't know what that's. Hello, hello, hello. But I. Okay, and which here? What? Average bit rate too high. Steam. Which? Stable now. Okay. Okay. Good. Looks like we're good. It still says unstable. I don't know. I don't know. Twitch is gonna be Twitch. Okay, and we're live. Get the pop out this chat. That's weird. Current visit rate 0 is lower than the recommended. That's not right. That can't be right. That's not right. That can't be right. Okay, whatever. Whatever, YouTube. YouTube is. So, this here, that there, and go. Oh, okay. Where should I put this? Just this. Put this here. And we are here. All right. So yesterday we had some technical issues. But looks like we got them fixed. So let's cover some of the same stuff we covered yesterday. Hello, everybody. What's going on? It's B4. It's another day. We're here to cover video games and other related things, but today's just video games. So, all right, we're going to be starting today with this article here. So this is Japan's gacha game industry. And we are gonna be. I'm gonna be going over this here and popping this. Oh, it's up here. All right, this works. This works. Okay. Uh. Yeah. So. Here we go. All right. We're probably gonna move this down. Okay. There it is. All right. Okay. So, today we're going to be talking about gotcha games and gotcha games like Genshin Impact. I have some Genshin Impact here for visual illustration. So, this is Genshin Impact, and these games are gotcha games. And the way that gotcha games work, gotcha, that I believe that's an Asian term, because these games were initially from Asia. They were very popular there, and they're gambling games. And the way these games work is that essentially, let me skip all of this here. Okay, so this is Genshin Impact, and this is a gotcha game. And the way these games work is that they're essentially gambling games. Except in gambling, you can actually win. And you can actually win money, something of value. In these games, there's no money to win. There's nothing that you can really reasonably trade for. There's nothing physical that you're getting out of them. Instead, you're able to unlock, and it depends per game. Like some games, what you unlock is a card, like Magic the Gathering card. In other games, what you unlock is a character, like a playable character, like in Genshin Impact. In other games, what you unlock is maybe some of them have like inventory that you can unlock, like weapons and stuff like that. And these are actual gameplay mechanics that you gain access to by paying money. Now, there's usually these games are usually free to play, and what that means is that you can. I think the term free to start is more appropriate, but yeah, free to play. You can start playing for free, but you're going to quickly run into limits. Like, people that start paying money, they can get theoretically unlimited gotcha pulls. And a gotcha pull is essentially a round of gambling. Think of it as um, a slot machine. In a slot machine, you pull on the lever, right? And when you pull on it, you can start the process of gambling, right? Of getting the slots, lining up the slots. Um, so whenever you gamble in this game, they call it a pull, right? So think of it like a loot box. So whenever you're purchasing one loot box, that's one pull, right? And you may get lucky with the loot box, and you may have something you actually want in it, like a 5-star, really rare, super capable character, or you may get very unlucky and get a bunch of 1-star crap that nobody cares about. And obviously, the problem with these games is that they make money by getting you to spend. They don't want everybody to stay free to play because then they'll make no money off of you. They make money by getting you to purchase these loot boxes, to do these gotcha pulls so you can get these characters or these weapons or these trading cards or whatever. Not even trading cards, because you can't even trade the cards in a game like Hearthstone. And so they're a big problem because they exploit the brain's sort of inclination towards novelty, towards seeing what's out there. When we were at the living in the outdoors, in the wilds, right? Like our brains would favor novel experiences. They still do. They still work exactly the same way. So you have this inclination to go out there into the forest and explore what's out there. Why? So you can find new things like new food sources, new water sources, new areas that may provide shelter. Like you may discover a cave, right? All these sorts of things. You may discover where the animals are, in the direction that the animals that you hunt perhaps are migrating to, right? There's plenty to discover when you go out there and explore. And so the brain kind of leans towards this discovery process, this looking for things, looking for what's out there. And when you find something, you get essentially your brain rewards you. You get a dopamine hit and you go, I found something. What's that over there? Is that a shiny thing? What is this? Is this a shiny rock? Is this some sort of gem or something? right? Is this valuable? And when you find out that it's valuable, you feel even better about yourself, right? And sometimes you find something and you think you found something and you're like, digging under the ground or something. You think there's something there and then you just find crap, right? Or you're fishing for something and you think you got a fish and it's just a boot, right? And so it's like, oh man. And so these gotcha games are designed to exploit that. And so because they make money by getting you to gamble and continue gambling and keep gambling some more, they're designed, just like casinos, to make you lose a lot more than you win. A lot more. Because they realize that if you lose, no, let's say it this way. They realize that if you win and you get what you want, like let's say there's two characters that you want. You need to complete your you're trying to complete a deck, right? A playing card deck. And you only need these two super rare cards. And you do a pull and you get both cards. Oh, now you don't need to spend anymore. You got everything you wanted. Your whole deck is complete. Now you can go out there and play and kick everybody's butt, right? So they want you to be in the state of, I constantly need more. And the way to do that is by making sure that the stuff that's really good, that people really value, is really rare. Like I'm talking about like the drop rates can be like 0 point, like less than 1%. So it's a very exploitive system and people can become very addicted. As a result, there's a lot of people out there that don't like gotcha games. So I think they're going to be very happy with these news. And what I'm talking about here is this article right here from Automaton Media. Japan's gotcha game industry in a sinking Titanic phase, developer says. Switching to console game development, not an easy solution for many. A lot of people want these types of mobile games, these type of what they believe are predatory games, to go out of business because they think that they're a cancer, right? And they're very harmful to people. And I agree, some of them really are very harmful, just like gambling, and very exploitive. There's a concept called the whale, and the whale is a player that spends a lot of money on a lot of pulls. And I mean a lot of money. I'm talking about thousands of dollars or more, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, right? And these whales can spend so much money that they are actually a significant part of the profit that these companies make. And so the games are optimized to get these people to spend. And they do that by targeting these people. They can tell which are the people that are vulnerable towards this compulsive spending, this compulsive gambling, and they'll send them notifications on their phone because they identified that they're a habitual gambler, right? They'll give them discounts just to get them. They'll notice, like, just to get them to spend. They'll notice like, oh, you haven't, this person hasn't spent money in a while. We need to give them some sort of like big bonus if he spends, so we can get him hooked again, right? And it's very, very fucking insidious. But, people do what they do so they can get their money. It is what it is. And so the Japanese gacha industry is having trouble. Square Enix recently announced that it will be discontinuing two of its decade-old mobile gacha games in Japan: Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and Dragon Quest of the Stars. If you don't know what Dragon Quest of the Stars is, this is basically the global launch gameplay trailer here. This is how the game is. It's a mobile game, as these gacha games tend to be. Even something like Genshin Impact is a mobile game. With the market growing saturated and development costs constantly rising, end of service announcements, which are, when a gacha game doesn't make money anymore, they kill the game. They shut down the servers. So that's an end of service announcement. End of service announcements are unfortunately nothing new in the industry, and developers in Japan are starting to feel like they can't expect much of a future from working on domestic mobile games. Moreover, according to some professionals, according to some, Professionals who only have experience working on Japanese style mobile games are having trouble finding work in other fields like console game development. Prompted by the recent announcements by Square Enix, mobile game developer Suemaru commented on Twitter. He says, Dragon Quest of the Stars, the game that you're seeing here on screen, and Final Fantasy Brave Exvius are shutting down. As someone active in the industry, I once again feel that gacha games are becoming like the Titanic. Staying in this industry means clinging to one of the limited spots on a sinking ship. I don't think all of it will go under, but the number of seats that can stay afloat will keep shrinking. Japan's mobile scene has long running hits like Fate Grand Order, Monster Strike, Puzzles and Dragons that have managed to stay profitable for over a decade. And these are the limited seats. But even the companies behind them, like Puzzle and Dragons developer Gun Ho, have struggled to produce any new hits in the meantime. And this goes to show you how hard it is to, when these games become so ingrained, how hard it is for new products to be released that are actually successful as well. Sort of like Google. You know, Google was there in the early days of the search engine, and they kind of took off, and then nobody ever caught up. Nobody could ever catch up. Even Microsoft spent billions on Bing, and Bing is nothing compared to Google, right? In terms of market share, this is a similar situation. Moreover, recent high budget projects like Aniplex's Drive 9 has suffered shutdowns in mere months following launch. So even spending like kind of like Bing, even spending a whole bunch of money and having this super high budget, super premium experience like Drive 9 is not a guarantee of success. And this reminds me as well of what Riot tried to do with their collectible card game, their online, which is kind of a gotcha game because it basically is. It's a card game, and it is called, because it's still alive, I believe. It's just kind of more on like a pseudo life support situation. It's called Runes of or Heroes of Runeterra, I believe it is. Something of Runeterra. And that game was super high budget compared to Hearthstone and other competitors. Super high budget card game, like intense animations, beautiful game, beautiful graphics, beautiful everything. And it still didn't manage to dethrone Hearthstone. Everybody still kept playing Hearthstone and other games like it, the ones that are popular. And it's a similar situation. You can't just spend your money to victory. Even though I think that Runeterra was a freaking excellent game and way better than Hearthstone, as somebody who spent a lot of time on both. Amidst such circumstances, Suemaru feels like his career has reached a limit. Even if I continue as a gacha game director, I won't see my income grow. I also don't know how long I'll even have my seat for. On the other hand, he doesn't see an easy path towards changing fields. Alloy, representative of Indie US Games, a Japanese company specializing in Unreal Engine game development, adds that it's already so hard to get off the sinking ship, and yet the industry is clearly in a decline. Moving from Japanese style mobile game development into console game development is very difficult, even though the opposite is simple. People who've built their careers in mobile games are facing an extremely troubling situation. Suemaru confirms that this is precisely the problem that he's now dealing with, as 100% of his career has been involved managing online mobile games. This seems to be an issue that particularly affects Japanese devs working as mobile game planners, which is a position similar to a game designer in the US. Johnny Game Studio comments, the people in planning positions at mobile game companies have skills that aren't easily transferable to console games or other fields. So they can't switch jobs, unlike an artist and programmer. Part of the issue also stems from technological requirements. As Alui explains, the console sector values skills in complex, polished action gameplay and high-end graphics technology. These are skills that you can apply as is to mobile games. But for mobile games, server technology is indispensable. Yet, it's not essential for console games, so demand is low. Console games have also strict technical requirement checks imposed by the platform holders, which makes prior experience a huge advantage. These technical requirement checks, by the way, are just kind of stuff that like Sony, like if you want to publish on PlayStation, you have to follow all their protocols. And a lot of times people think it's a performance thing. It's not really a performance thing. There's been a lot, and I mean a lot since like the PlayStation 1 days. There's been a lot of underperforming games in terms of like horrible FPS, right? Just horrible frame times, laggy, all this stuff. It's not really about performance. It's about making sure that you're following Sony's priorities. And their priorities are making you feel like this is a PlayStation game. So, a big one that people have cited before, developers have cited, is making sure that if you're publishing a game on PlayStation, that it does not have any Xbox buttons. On PC, it doesn't matter, right? But on PlayStation, they absolutely require you. And if they see any Xbox button or any Xbox prompt or anything that reminds somebody that this is not a PlayStation or that you're maybe playing on an Xbox, they'll instantly deny your game. This is something that I believe Ubisoft's COD competitor, which shut down. What was that game called? It shut down. I played it for a bit too. Um, ran into this was a game that ran into this issue where it's like something stupid like that is the reason that why they got their release date pushed back on PlayStation, because Sony was like, no, this is showing like Xbox buttons. So back to the article. Given that Japanese companies often very clearly distinguish between new hires, freshly graduated young employees whom the company trains from zero as a future investment, and mid career hires who are expected to be experienced and immediately fill a vacancy, this puts mobile game veterans wishing to switch to console gaming in an undesirable position. Such individuals are unfortunately likely to increase in the future. According to a survey by the Japan's Online Game Association, the domestic online game market was worth an estimated 7.4 billion in 2024, a steady decline from 2023's 10.8 billion. Meanwhile, average mobile game development costs in 2024 rose to about 3.3 million per title, 4.7 times higher than 10 years ago. Now, there's a lot of people who are probably thinking to themselves, who are used to console gaming, would look at this and say 3.3 million per title, that's fucking nothing. You know, even like $40 million per title, even like a game like Alan Wake 2, I think Alan Wake 2 was like 60 million or something like that, was a low budget for a big console game like that, right? And so it's like 3 million, that's nothing. That's like PS2 game money. That's like when like people used to make PlayStation 2 games. But as it says there, that's almost 5 times higher than it was 10 years ago. Could you imagine prices rising 5 times higher than they are now for PlayStation 6 games compared to PlayStation 5 games? That's how bad this is. So, combined with the effect of market oversaturation and strong competition from high budget publishers in China and South Korea, Japan's domestic gacha game market will likely have a difficult time regaining its momentum. So there you have it. That's the story there. It's kind of crazy how an industry that people think, and this is Japan too, like an industry like Japan has had one of the first big gotcha games in Fate Grand Order. Like that game is still going and is still farming money off of people like crazy. But it's kind of crazy to see something, an industry that people assume just prints money and makes a bunch of money and makes a fortune, and it's just like where all the money is made, struggling like this. And it goes to show you, like nothing is forever. Eventually, some things are trend, right? And eventually, like like the quote goes, how's it go? Like the only thing you can guarantee is change. Like there's nothing, there's nothing that you can predict other than things changing, right? That's a constant in life. But that doesn't mean that the gacha industry is done. After all, this is just a Japanese gacha industry. Um, and they're seeing a lot. We're seeing even here. We're seeing a lot of competition from Chinese developers, South Korean developers, right, and even some Western developers that are trying to get in on that still. So there's still going to be a lot of gotcha games. It just this could be a trend of something that's happening in the future, and perhaps this will also move on to China and other places because I really do think that just like MMOs, gotcha games is becomes gotcha games are something that you spend a lot of time in. And any game where you spend a lot of time in, it's a hard game for you to like leave for a new equivalent version of that. Like MMOs, like with World of Warcraft. Every time there was a new World of Warcraft killer, people would leave to go play that game, me included. And then like months later, everybody would just go back to World of Warcraft. Why? Because you've been playing World of Warcraft for years. That's where all your stuff is. That's where all your years of investment are. It's hard for you to like start over and just leave all of that behind. And that's what I think stuff like Roblox, stuff like uh, Genshin Impact, stuff like Fortnite, you know, they're in a really good position because it's really hard for people to leave those games because they already invested so much and they may have so many skins and so many other friends are there. It's a very kind of viral experience and it gains a critical mass where it's just hard to quit. Amazon Games. Amazon Games announces March of Giants. So this is a new game that Amazon has been working on for some time. I believe they've been working on it for 5 years. Uh, Amazon has been trying to make a big push into games. Amazon has been trying to make a big push into video games. And some of the games that they've had and they've invested a lot of money in, like this one here, uh, yeah, this is it. This is Crucible. This is a Amazon game that they've invested a lot of money. They worked really hard on, and it just didn't work out. Unlike New World is still there. Let's go to some gameplay here. Uh, New World is still there. New World is still successful, but this game came out. I think it was like an open beta. I played it. I thought it was okay. I don't know. It was kind of buggy and kind of I don't know, unpolished. Like the animations looked unpolished, and basically nobody played it like Concord, and they just went, you know what? We're just gonna kill the game. We've been working on this for 5 years or whatever. Yeah, we're just not gonna do that anymore. We're done, and they just killed the game. The game was supposed to release, and they said, "Nah, we're not gonna do that. We're just yeah, no, forget it." Yeah, we can tell this is not gonna go well for us. And they've had similar issues like that for other games. I believe they were also working on. Amazon was working on uh, a Lord of the Rings MMO, and I believe they had two attempts of it, if I remember correctly, and both of them didn't go well. I don't think they're making that game anymore. I don't. Last I heard, I don't know. Um, so this New World was rough as well. They had some partnerships with other games as a publisher. Like they had that partnership with uh the Korean game. What's it was a Korean MMO. I forgot. It starts with what is it? Arc. There's so many of these. It's that big Korean MMO that was popping off on Steam, years back, like around post pandemic. I don't remember the exact name. It's like it's at the tip of my tongue, but needless to say, Amazon's been struggling. They also have Amazon Luna, which is a cloud gaming service, sort of like Stadia, but not as bad, and that nobody uses. And it makes sense that Amazon would try to make something like that because it's like, yeah, I mean, Amazon has AWS, which is their server infrastructure system. They rent out these servers to companies so they can use them. It's a very profitable business. It's really successful. They make They make so much money off of that, and they're just thinking to themselves, what if we use our servers, right, our server technology for gaming as well? And people could pay a subscription, and then they could play games on our servers, right? And that's Amazon Luna. It makes sense on paper until you introduce the fact that, well, cloud games, they have a lot of issues, like the lag, like how close you have to be to have a good experience to the servers, how good your internet is, how reliable it is. Just a lot of problems that have not been resolved yet. And so, what I commend Amazon on is that they keep going. They haven't given up. They still keep making games and they're still trying to nail it. And you got to respect that. You got to respect the hustle. So, they're making a new game. It's called March of Giants. It is a 4v4 PvP game. Let's see what they have to say. Turn up the volume here. Let's see what they have to say about this. I may have to move my, yeah, because this is they're using subtitles on this, so I'm gonna have to move self here, and there we are. Let's see if we can see the subtitles now.
Ça va faire 5 ans maintenant que je suis avec Amazon et que j'ai la chance en tout cas de pouvoir être dans cette aventure où on a décidé conjointement en tout cas de créer un studio complet à Montréal et spécialisé en plus dans le MOBA et vraiment dans la fibre multiplayer compétitive. Le déclic pour Amazon, c'est la rencontre avec Christophe Hartmann, en fait. Là, j'ai vu quelqu'un qui donnait une carte à la liberté créative très forte, comme j'avais rarement vu.
Speak French there.
Et j'ai aimé ce pari.
They're very proud of their French, by the way.
Historiquement, quand j'ai commencé à regarder le MOBA, je me suis dit, il a vraiment écrit le fait d'être un héros, mais il a laissé quelque chose derrière lui. Moi, j'ai connu le RTS et j'ai vibré pour le RTS qui racontait la guerre, en fait. On est sur un territoire très particulier. On va partir pour les grandes batailles.
Yeah,
en fait, l'avenir du RTS m'emmenait à encore plus de grandes batailles. Et moi, je pense que cette histoire existe. Elle est toujours possible, et je pense qu'elle est même possible dans le MOBA. Et c'était ma première question.
RTS would just become crazy, like just like millions of units and stuff like that.
En tant que joueur, je suis un jeu, je fais partie d'un groupe, mais en même temps, nous ne sommes plus dans une arène. Nous sommes plongés dans un battlefield, dans une terre de bataille en fait. Est-ce qu'il existe dans le monde des humains, en tout cas dans notre monde historique à nous, une bataille, un phénomène réel qui a existé, qui se rapprocherait du comportement MOBA? Et je me suis dit oui, peut-être si on caricature un peu la Première Guerre mondiale, il y a quelque chose là-dedans, il y a quelque chose de ces tranchées, de ces lignes d'unité qui viennent en tout cas s'effondrer les unes contre les autres. Je me suis dit, il y a quelque chose ici. Donc qu'est-ce que c'est que la Première Guerre mondiale? Qu'est-ce que ça peut nous apporter? Parce que c'est important d'apporter un univers qui nous permet d'éclater en fait la boîte traditionnelle. Ce sont des unités qui ont une forme de destinée en fait. Ils ont un agenda en fait qui peut être assez limité avec des charges, etc. Mais malgré tout, il y a des manœuvres.
It's like
la possibilité aussi de changer le sol.
I guess kind of like World War I.
Mondiale, on commence à vraiment, on le voit.
It's around the time when we figured out that maybe using horses in the battlefield not a great idea.
Etc. Et puis enfin, un champ lexical très différent. Là, d'un seul coup, on rentre dans une guerre qui nous emmène ailleurs que dans l'heroic fantasy. On n'est plus dans le référent du bouclier, de l'épée et de la magie. On va être dans un référent dans lequel, si on a une magie, elle se rapproche plus de la science. Si on a des armes, elles sont plus proches de la poudre, du canon, de l'obus, etc. Donc, un champ sémantique complètement différent. Et donc aussi peut-être un rapport au tir, un rapport à la visée différent. Mais il nous faut notre univers, il nous faut notre magie aussi. C'est comme si on percutait en fait la Première Guerre mondiale avec un conte de fées. Est-ce qu'il existe
World War I inspired, but there's still magic.
Est-ce qu'il existe un être de conte de fées qui pourrait vraiment se marier avec notre champ de bataille
and
et nos soldats?
It's got that Attack on Titan vibe. It's like if somebody wanted to make an Attack on Titan, Attack on Titan like MOBA, 4v4
Mais la vraie
MOBA.
façon de jouer, c'est quand les joueurs externes
And like I guess one of the players is the Titan. Is that what it is?
C'est le moment d'exister. Ça y est, enfin, ça va arrêter d'être folie collective d'un petit nombre
Look at
que
that
l'on
guy's
joue entre nous.
mouse.
Pour une fois,
He's
on
a
va pouvoir
real gamer.
sortir ce projet, il va pouvoir exister à
His
l'extérieur.
mouse has
Nous,
side buttons
vraiment,
on
les
it.
vrais joueurs vont rentrer dedans.
Look at this. Look at that. You see that? Look at all those buttons. That's a lot of buttons, man.
À l'alpha, c'est le moment
That's how you know
d'exister.
he's a real gamer.
Ça y est, enfin, ça va arrêter d'être une
Look at that other
folie
mouse. It's
collective
different
d'un
mouse.
petit nombre que l'on
They have
joue
all
entre
sorts
nous.
of
Pour une fois,
pro
on va pouvoir
mouses.
sortir ce projet, il va pouvoir exister à l'extérieur, puis on va pouvoir enfin recevoir la vibration. Et quelle
I hope this is
comment
this
on va
is
la
good,
qualifier,
man.
quelle est la réception. Bref, c'est
I like how he was
moment
talking about
rendez-vous.
RTS.
En fait, on ne travaille que pour ça. Hein. On fabrique un jeu, mais la vraie façon de jouer au jeu, la vraie façon même de développer un vocabulaire autour du jeu, c'est celui que les joueurs placent. Parce que les joueurs, c'est une quantité de cerveau largement supérieure à la nôtre, qui ont un temps incroyable,
The
parce
nose
qu'ils sont
ring.
très nombreux, de pouvoir trouver des façons que nous n'avons pas vu venir. Alors j'invite tous les curieux, les compétiteurs et les seigneurs de guerre dans l'âme à se joindre à l'alpha de March of Giants.
There's gonna be they're gonna have an alpha, and you can sign up for the alpha. It's gonna be September, I think, 2nd towards September 2nd towards till September 10th. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, and so this is their website right here. I have their website here. This is March of Giants. So it's going to be a free to play 4 versus 4 war MOBA. And it's going to be a closed alpha again, September 2nd to the 10th. You got to request access on Steam. It's North American. Makes sense because they're in North America. So it says stand among giants, calling all MOBA players. Craving a new challenge? Let me go ahead and move myself back down. Craving a new challenge? Enter the fray with March of Giants, a new war MOBA experience set in a ravaged urban battlefield. Play as a giant. Dominate the battlefield as a towering war commander in strategic 4 versus 4 combat. So do the players play as the giant? Is that what it is? And then like the guys, the soldiers are just like the creeps. They're just the NPCs, you know, the little guys in a MOBA. Lead your soldiers, lead thousands, Jesus, of fearless soldiers guiding their movement to support your team's advance. This sounds cool. Deploy battle works. Position powerful reinforcements like trenches, tanks, and bunkers to turn the tide of battle. This is I feel like this guy watched Attack on Titan and he's just like, what if we do that? But like, because even Attack on Titan was, you know, obviously had like, you know, guns and, you know, like naval ships and tanks and all of that. So like, yeah, you just got to watch enough of it to see it. Your feedback will have an impact. Be the first. Alpha is just the beginning. Join us in this early playtest to be part of March of Giants' growth while helping impact its future. Reinforce development. Help influence the development of March of Giants. Closed alpha players can share feedback and report issues in March of Giants Discord server. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so they're inviting for feedback here. And this is they were talking about here. And this is freaking out. How do I sign up for the beta? What are the PC requirements? So that's, yeah, they already got that. Okay, 75% render scale. So yeah, this is a really freaking crappy old ass CPU. This 3100, I think this is a 4-core CPU. So this is old. And this is much better here. But this is not a high requirement. So they're aiming for this to run on potatoes essentially. And at 1650, basically everything with 4 gigs of VRAM, basically everybody's got, you know, most people have something equivalent to this. This game could probably run in a Steam Deck. 8 gigs of RAM. Yeah. And this is recommended here, and they're recommending a 2060 Super, which is again ancient. It's like a 7-year-old GPU technology there. 5700 XT. It's from 2019. 16 gigs, and then recommended system for 120 FPS, 1440p. So obviously this is now we're gaming. So the modern CPU Zen 4, Alder Lake here, low end. Both of these are low end, but nice CPUs. And a 3080 and a 6800 CD, which are both equivalent. So this game looks very optimized. These are very good. Um, this is like, this will run on a Steam Deck, man. Who are developers behind March of Giants? What languages? What steps will you take to prevent toxic behavior? How will you stop the toxicity? How will you stop players calling me no words? I don't want to get called gamer words on freaking voice chat, guys. Please. Oh god, this is so cringe, man. This is so fucking stupid. We're gonna try to protect you guys so you don't hear no words. Okay. And by the way, I am not a gamer word enthusiast. It's not like I run around every time I'm playing a game like spouting gamer words, but it's just fucking cringe, man. Like this is a game about murdering each other in a World War I fucking inspired Attack on Titan setting. And these motherfuckers are worried about being called meanie words. It's like, come on. So yeah, and they have a timer here. So I have to admit, this looks pretty cool. I kind of wish that they would have had, I kind of wish they would have had more gameplay or any gameplay really. And they didn't. Like I said, this is their previous game here, and this is not made by the same developers. I think they've probably fired all of these developers. Uh, and one of the things that they had issues with in this game is that they were developing it on the Amazon Lumberyard, which is basically CryEngine. It's like rebranded CryEngine. It's like the engine they use for like Star Citizen. Um, and man, they ran into issues. I don't know. The devs just they bit more than they could chew, I suppose. And let's hope that this game here, March of the Giants, is not. Let's hope that it's not gonna get the same treatment. So recently, the architect of Sony's disastrous live service push says failures are good actually, because now there's more rigorous and more frequent testing. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's talk about failures. This is their biggest failure right here. This is Concord. And while I read what he says, I want you to look at his work. And he was behind this, by the way. Um, he was behind this game. So let's see. And this is an executive. This is not like he's not like a game developer now. Um, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and get. I gotta first. Gotta get the link here. So yeah, architect of Sony's disastrous live service push says failures are good. They're good actually, because now there's more rigorous and more frequent testing, which I suppose is true, right? I mean, I would hope after they Concord was $400 million. They had a $400 million budget, and they just kind of pissed that away to the toilet. PlayStation boss Herman Holtz. If you don't know Herman Holtz, he was the studio director. He was the boss of Guerrilla Games, um, or Guerrilla Games. These are the developers of Killzone and more recently Horizon, like Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. That's what they do. And he was promoted to be an executive at PlayStation Game Studios or whatever. Um, so PlayStation boss Herman Holtz has said that live service failures are good for the development of their future attempts. Which is true. Hey, you learn from your mistakes. One of Sony's first major pushes into the live service space was Concord, the game you're looking at here. And for those of you who've managed to miss out on this fiasco, it was pulled offline after 2 weeks of release. And not long later, Sony killed the game studio and Sony killed the game and the studio behind it, meaning that 8 years of development time were basically for nothing. Concord was not a bad game. It was well made and relatively bug free, but various factors, including bad marketing, a paid title, and a full genre of great free ones, and a bit generic, led to it being a disaster that makes the original Cyberpunk 2077 look tame. So, okay, I have a few issues with this. The gameplay in Concord was not bad. It was not bad. It played fine. It played fucking fine. The shooting was all right. You know, the environments look really good. Unlike Marathon, by the way, Marathon looks like fucking garbage. If you look at the gameplay of Marathon, it's so ugly. Like the art is just looks terrible, and you can tell that they're trying to really make sure. It feels like they want this game to run at 120 FPS on PS5, which I bet I wouldn't be surprised if there's an 120 FPS mode. It's got that Valorant look, but you could tell like it just doesn't look good visually. The graphics aren't good, and the art design isn't good either. And yet, you know, Sony is very confident on Marathon succeeding and that Marathon has learned from all these lessons. So, in some ways, I'd argue that Marathon is worse. The marketing for Marathon was terrible. Uh, Marathon isn't Marathon a paid title? Marathon is not free to play, right? It's paid. If I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure, like I'm like 99.99% sure that Marathon is a paid game, right? Let's look this up. Is Marathon free to play? Let me see here. Marathon free to play. Here we go. Marathon game director explains why the game isn't free to play. What did I say? What did I fucking say? I told you they haven't learned. I told you. I told you that Marathon is just as bad, if not worse, in some aspects than fucking Concord. But yeah, Concord was not a bad game. It played all right. It just was unappealing. And, you know, it was bug free as well. It felt polished to actually be in the levels. The environments look way prettier than Marathon. They actually look kind of good. It looked like a high budget Overwatch. Overwatch didn't have anywhere near as good a graphics as Concord. Um, but it did have bad marketing, and I would argue it had terrible art. Like the design of the characters, these characters are fucking ugly. I mean, look at this character on the screen. This is what the sniper rifle. This is the equivalent of Widowmaker. Like, look at this lady. Okay, we got Widowmaker, Concord Widowmaker here. And let's look at Widowmaker in Overwatch. Overwatch. Uh, Widowmaker. Let's take a look at how she looks. Wow. Wow. Look at this. Wow. Oh my god. Wow. Man, they look the same. This is the same character. Like it's like the Office meme. It's the same thing, clearly. So clearly, guys, the same thing. I just don't understand. How could Concord have failed when their Widowmaker looks like this? I mean, it's gotta be racism, guys. It's gotta be. They're fucking racist, clearly. So let's go ahead and start a match. Here we go. And you can see what I mean. Like it is not a bad looking game. Look at the floor, man. Look at these environments. It looks good. These are this is fucking graphics right here, man. Look at the wall. You know, this is way more detailed than fucking Overwatch. As somebody who has spent like 2,000 hours on Overwatch, I can tell you it doesn't look this good. So yeah, Concord was a disaster, but I'd argue that Marathon, I think that's going to be Concord too. I do. I think Marathon is going to have trouble succeeding. I really do. And part of it is the same exact issue that Concord has. Have you seen the Widowmaker in in Marathon? Hold on. Hold on. I have let's take a look at this. What is that? What is the sniper guy? Um Marathon. There's a sniper character or a stealth character. Marathon sniper. He's like a stealthy character. I gotta put Bungie. Marathon sniper. Is this it, or am I? Either way, it doesn't matter which one it is. The stealthy character was a different character. I seem to recall. It doesn't matter which one it is. Look at this. Look at this is Valor. I mean, this is Marathon's Widowmaker. All right. Look at it. Compare. Fucking compare. Compare. Fucking compare. This is from in game, by the way. This model here. Now where is it? What did I do with the I don't remember where I put the marathon. That's okay. Marathon characters. How about that? Characters. Let's take a look at them. See? This is the guy that I was talking about here. Look at this. He looks like the guy fucking I mean, he looks like he's like this sort of like am I looking at a woman or is this a woman that transitioned? Is this a guy that's transitioning? Like what am I looking at? Like this is by the way, this is the rogue stealthy like character I was talking about. He can go invisible and all this shit. And then this is the girl here. And they're both part of the cinematic, the big cinematic. This is another character here. Look at it. Look at it. This looks like a fucking this looks like what was it called? Atlas? The fucking Boston Dynamics robot Atlas 1. Bro, he looks like this. This is the better version though. Yeah, cuz there's like multiple iterations of this robot. It looks like a fucking Boston Dynamics robot. It does. Look at this shit. Like, what the fuck? And this is what we're oh my god, where did I put it again? So hold on. Concord. They're all they're all going to the bottom? Is that what it is? The bottom of the tabs? Oh jeez. No. I think I just okay, I just gotta go back. Here we go. So look at this character. Look at these lips. Like what is this? What is this? You play as Tin Man? Like he looks like he's like an NPC that you're supposed to kill. He looks like a generic robot, and his gun looks like it's made out of Legos. His armor looks like it's made out of Legos. Where's the other guy? There's like a tank guy. And by the way, this is supposed to be the hot girl. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I get it if it's artistic and shit, but it's like if you're trying to look, the marathon cinematic looks absolutely breathtaking. By the way, the cinematic looked good in a weird kind of way. It did. It did. I don't have a problem with the cinematic, but the characters in the cinematic actually look better than they do in game, as you'd expect. Actually, um, why didn't they have this lady in the fucking cinematic? They had these two and this guy and her, but they didn't have her. She's like the only normal human face one. Semi normal. Now, where the fuck? I'm looking for the tank. Either way, you guys have already seen. Like the fucking tank, he's over here. He's this guy. He's fucking made out of fucking Legos, just like the other guy. And it just looks stupid. But again, it's trying to go for like this futuristic, like maybe in the future this is what's cool. You know? It's just you're not selling your game in the future. Look at this. Look at this art. You're selling your game now. Look at this. Look, it's a fucking robot. You're like a robot man. No, this is not. This is the classic marathon. Dude, even the old marathon looks better than this shit. Oh man. Let me see. Go forward. No, no. It all goes to Boston Dynamics. Okay. So going back to it, this game actually looks a lot better. And the characters look a lot more normal. Like there's like human faces. Like the fucking girl Concord lady. That looks like a human, right? That doesn't look like a Lego thing. So in some ways, Concord is more approachable than fucking Marathon, and that's why I think Marathon is gonna be a fucking disaster. Look at that guy. The guy that killed him. Like this guy over here, he looks like a sort of human. This guy looks like I don't know John Concord over here. He looks like a human, right? Even like the boss lady, the girl boss lady, and the fucking crazy suit. Even she's like in the woke suit, as people call it. Even that's a normal lady face. I think, guys, I think fucking Marathon is cooked. I do. I think they're. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't think they've learned. So let's go back. Let's go back to Herman here. Okay, I see. Uh, I see. I see. I was using two browsers. New mistake. Okay, so there it is. And yet, so it says it led it to being a this Concord being a disaster that makes the original Cyberpunk 2077 look tame. And yet, PlayStation are unfazed with its development of live service titles going forward. Marathon is next in line, and from the sounds of it, it isn't going swimmingly over there either. I wonder why. Did you take a look at the character design? Did you take? I mean, they have another article right here. Did you take a look at the robots? The robot people. This is you. You play as Lego man. You're a Lego robot man with like wacky cuddle colors. So, oh right, I'm not showing. I'm not showing. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, sorry, I'm on another browser, and so I was showing the picture in another browser. I'm forgetting I'm not on the OBS browser. Sony Interactive. Entertainment CEO Herman Holtz spoke to the Financial Times in a paywalled article that has been recapped by Genki on Twitter about Concord's failure and Sony's continued push to live service, despite it. Holtz says the fiasco has led Sony to put in place much more rigorous and more frequent testing. Uh huh. Uh huh. He adds, the advantage of every failure is that people now understand how necessary oversight is. So I mean, yeah, that makes sense. So like, did you guys take a look at the? Did you guys have any oversight on the marathon character design? Did you guys take a look at that? Did you take a look at the Tin Man we play as, and the the bisexual color lady? like, come on, man. So Holtz also added, I don't want teams to play it safe. Or I don't want teams to always play it safe. But I would like for us, when we fail, to fail early and fail cheaply. Which is a far cry from Concord's 8-year development and reportedly massive budget. So I mean, he's right. Like if you're gonna fail, you should fail when it's cheap and everything's just on paper, and drawings and shit, and not actual like a fucking game, not actually like a fully developed title. But if you were hoping that failure would cause Sony to go back to doing what it does best by creating impactful single player games, I wouldn't get too excited. Holtz says that the number of live service releases is not important. What is important to me is having a diverse set of player experiences and a set of communities. And to be fair, like Holtz is right. Like the money that's being made now, all the growth that we're getting in the industry is coming from live service games like Roblox and Minecraft and Fortnite. That's where we're getting the growth. Those are the big money makers. It's not Uncharted 4. They spent how much money on Uncharted 4 and it sold, I don't know, 20 million copies or whatever, but it's done. There's no more. You're going to need that new Uncharted 5 and you're going to have to restart development again and spend, hundreds of millions of dollars. Like Spider-Man, how much was Spider-Man? Wasn't it like 300 million? It's like 300 million. Concord was 400 million, right? So a new Uncharted is probably going to be at least 300 million if it's going to be a big crazy action spectacle type of game like Uncharted is. And so PlayStation is looking at this and they're saying, "Look, man, we know where the money's being made, and we're not doing it. Historically, we have not been making these kinds of games. We need live service games because we want some of that fortune." I can't blame them. And the thing is that once you have a very successful live service game, it just stays. Generally, it stays successful. It's just a money printer. So you can have 10 games fail, but if one succeeds, who knows? That could potentially make up for the others. So I get it. But at the same time, I feel like he is responsible for this shit. He was overseeing this. He was talking about how Concord was looking really great, and how he had gone to go see the game and shit, and how it's like, oh yeah, man. He said this shit looked good. Look at this shit. Look at that. Look at this purple haired lady. He said that looked good. I don't know, man. I think Herman is part of the problem, if you ask me. But let's give him another shot. Let's take a look at what happens with Marathon. If Marathon becomes, Fortnite 2 or like the next fucking Minecraft or something or Roblox, then you know what? I'll take it back, Herman. I'll take it back. But something tells me no. Something tells me Marathon, that game's not going to be around for too long. I bet you it won't even last a year with the servers up. Not the servers up, of like support. I'll with support. So if you look at it, like Halo Infinite still, like they already cut down support for Halo Infinite. They're not doing any big, they're not all in like they used to be, but their servers are still up, right? Who knows? Maybe they'll just do that to save face. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this. So if you don't know what HIO is, HIO is a platform for selling games. You know, it's a platform
Did you
like
know that there is a completely free way to post your games?
it's a platform like Steam, and you can make your games on there. Um, let's see. So itch.io. Itch.io is a platform where you can post your games and you can make money. You know, a lot of their games are free. A lot of their games are kind of donation based, and they've been trucking along for a long time, and they have found some degree of success because PC is an open market. You know, like some people use itch.io for checking out new indie games. It's a great place for that. Um, and As we saw with some of the PayPal stuff that was going on, some of the Visa and MasterCard stuff, these payment processors are indirectly targeting games and games that they don't like, games that have, some degree of sexuality in them, games that games that are not safe for work, games that have certain themes that they don't like grape, you know, um, and how would I say this? Lincest. You guys get what I mean. So there's a new article here by the Gamer, and it says Itch is blocking developers of not safe for work games from being seen in the UK. This is yet another problem that's been happening, and does not have to do with Visa and Mastercard. Getting their partner banks to crack down on Steam and itch.io games that are not safe for work. This is part of new law of the UK. I believe it's a law that's been passed recently, or not been passed recently, but it's come into effect recently. Um, let's take a look at this article. It says for several weeks. For several weeks, adult content online has faced restrictions across the board, whether it is through pressure groups targeting payment processors, as I discussed earlier, or governments trying to make it harder to access adult material without proving that you are over 18. Now it appears that Itch has rolled out another measure to comply with the latter, as some game developers and authors on the site have discovered that their pages cannot be viewed within the UK anymore. And if you know anything about the UK, man, they're I mean, I live in the United States, so it's very different over here, but over there, they don't really fuck around with this shit. Like they have all sorts of laws. Like you needed my understanding is that you needed to have a license to watch TV. You need to have a TV license to watch certain channels on, or just to have TV access is my understanding in the UK. Like it is they are very big government. A lot of regulations, a lot of restrictions on things that, would surprise an American. A lot of regulations on speech and the things that you can say. Like for example, you can go to jail for misgendering somebody in the UK. I was shocked to hear that. Like that's not a thing in the US because we have, First Amendment, free speech. You can gender or say whatever the hell you want, basically. Um, so it's very different. I think that it's not. I'm not trying to say that the UK is bad, but what I will say is that they have a different way of doing things over there than we do things in the United States. Now, to be fair, the United States is also looking at some of this stuff. They're also looking at these, and they've had forever, trying to, like, think of the children and protect the kids from, like, uh, websites, social media, and porn. Oh my God, kids are gonna see titties. Could you imagine what's gonna happen to your child when they see a pair of titties? Could you imagine that? I don't understand. How do all the tribes that are out there, all the natural tribes, people living the old natural life, and they're out there, and the ladies are just have their titties out, and they have their hoo-has out, and like everybody's just running around like mostly naked. Maybe they'll have like a like something covering down here, but most of the time it's naked, right? Like, what happens in those, like, in the natural human environment, which is the environment we spend the vast majority of our evolution, you know, millions of years, that pretty much all of our evolution happened under, these tribal hunter and gatherer societies. How do we live? How did we live with the kids seeing titties and nipples? Like, what did all the kids, like, did their heads explode when they saw the titties? Like, what happened? Like, I don't understand. Something must have changed, because now when kids see titties, like, they turn into serial killers or something. They turn into murderers. They turn into like knife killers. People that, like, get into like cars and run over people that have different beliefs because they saw titties. The titties are dangerous, guys. We need to stop them. And the UK is trying to do just that. So now it appears that itch has rolled out another measure to comply with the latter, as some game developers and authors on the site have discovered that their pages cannot be viewed within the UK anymore. Oddly, the work they've uploaded through itch, as well as the bundles they appear in, are perfectly viewable at the time of writing. However, the pages for the devs who created and uploaded the material can no longer be viewed, with a new disclaimer stating that this is in order to comply with the United Kingdom's Online Safety Act. And you're gonna hear this shit a lot because there's a lot of people that are pissed off about this shit. This is basically the Think of the Children Act. This is the Nanny State Act. This is why, man. This is why the U.S. said, "Hey, Stream Hub, thanks for chatting. Nice seeing you. Thanks for checking out the stream." Um, this is why Americans said we're gonna get the fuck out of here, right? We're gonna like create our own country, and we're gonna fucking go to war with the UK because we're tired of their fucking bullshit. They're always telling us what to do, and they're always making all these fucking crazy laws and dictating what people can and can't do. And this is why Americans fucking came up with their crazy rules on all our freedoms. The First Amendment literally is the right to free speech, right? Because we wanted to say fuck you to the UK. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of crazy to see how it's all kind of regressing. So some itch creators have had their pages hidden in the UK. Author Eller Bambus has started raising awareness of this on Blue Sky. We tested this, and true enough, we were unable to access Bambus' page on itch while our location was set to the UK. Her work could be viewed after inputting our age manually, but nothing would let us view the author's page. And you see, we're lucky that right now all you have to do is input your age manually, because later on they're gonna be implementing, I think they're working on this real ID shit where you have to upload your own fucking ID and let everybody fucking know let everybody fucking know uh what your ID is, what your personal information is, where you live, and that shit can be leaked, as what happened with the T app situation where the faces of all these women who were reporting men got leaked. This shit is not foolproof. It's not bulletproof, man. Eventually this stuff is gonna leak and your information is gonna be out there, and that shit fucking sucks. And all for what? So you can see fucking nipples? Like, it's fucking retarded, man. So yeah. Um So we also checked through other adult games and creators, and nothing that these authors and developers and nothing that these authors and developers pages were restricted. Hey, Jod. Hey, nice to see you. Quote, we value our users around the world and are committed to complying with local laws and regulations, the disclaimer reads. While we're currently unable to provide this specific content or service to users in the UK, we continue to evaluate our offerings and compliance framework, and we'd hope to make more content available in the future. I'm doing pretty good, Jod. Thanks. Just going over some news here. It's we're going over the this news story of itch.io. They're essentially like Steam. You know, they're a different platform where you can sell your games, and they're blocking developers of not safe for work games from being seen in the UK. Yeah, yeah, that's what I. So I had this video here that's essentially playing out, the itch page, just so people can become more familiar with it. And this is all due to the UK's Online Safety Act. Under the UK's Online Safety Act, websites are responsible for ensuring that adult content is not accessed by anyone under the age of 18. This is why sites and apps such as Blue Sky and Discord have rolled out heightened age verification methods, which typically involve taking a selfie and scanning your ID. Yeah, I have a no solicitors. Yeah, I don't no solicitors on chat. But thanks, Jod. And Twitter is another place like this. Uh, with similar laws set to come into place in other regions too. The gaming industry is taking notice, and you can already verify your age on Xbox before it becomes mandatory next year. So it's gonna become mandatory for you to have a fucking ID check or age verification check on Xbox before you can play video games. Yeah, yeah. This also comes as Itch, Steam, and other sites come under pressure to outright remove adult content from their storefronts. This came about from a campaign led by the anti pornography group Collective Shout, but it also stemmed from Project 2025. Right now, the campaign I didn't hear anything about that, but hey. Right now, the campaign threatens the freedom of game developers and gives payment processors the power to force stores to remove their games and object to their sale. So that fucking sucks, man. Like that fucking sucks. This is like I've never been a fan of this shit. Yeah, you can ask me a question as long as it's not it's not soliciting. No, no, I am not. No soliciting, Jod. Thanks. Um, so I find this funny here. Now, I do agree with the general gist of the article. I do agree that censorship is bad. I've always been an anti-censorship guy. I've always been an actual anti-censorship guy. Because there's a lot of people that are anti-censorship, and what they really mean is they don't like it when the stuff they like is censored. Well, I'm more open to just you gotta let everybody just do what they want, because otherwise you always get into these games of, it's basically a stop liking what I don't like. It's the fucking meme with the kid with the 12-year-old, and he's like, stop liking what I don't like. You get into these situations where whenever somebody comes into power, they're gonna try to make laws and try to make restrictions that make it so that this yeah That the people that they don't like or the stuff that they don't like doesn't get done. You know? Yeah, this is the shit right here. Like it's fucking this kid. Stop liking what I don't like. It's just so obnoxious, but like people seem to have a natural inclination to do this shit. They always it seems like people are just like they're obsessed with power. They're obsessed with fucking power. Yeah, and they just want to tell everybody what to like, and it's so fucking annoying. So you have to it's like free speech. At some point you have to go, okay, there's always going to be control freaks who are going to get into power and stop people from liking the stuff that they actually like. So we need to make it so that everybody can like what they like. And that these I hate to say it, these freaks don't fucking block people. Don't fucking, censor. Don't fucking ban the stuff that, like whatever it is that you want to do. And so this article this article over here is like right now the campaign threatens the freedom of game developers. No, he doesn't care about this guy, this and fucking the gamer too. Rhiannon Bevan. Like Rhiannon here doesn't fucking care about like the freedom of developers. She cares. I mean, does she have? Okay. I thought I was gonna see a blue sky here. She doesn't care about the freedom of developers. She cares about the freedom of games that she likes, right? Because when Valve had their very libertarian view, when they first made it uh, a thing that you could have non-safe for work games, adult games on Steam, and it was fine. And the way that they went about it is, as long as it's not illegal, it's fine. People like fucking Rhiannon here made all sorts of articles. All the journalists fucking from all these websites like Kotaku and Polygon and fucking IGN made all these articles about these games that had content that they didn't like. Like some games had grape in them, And so it's like, oh, that's bad. We can't have that. We don't like that women can get graped in this. But I guarantee you, if it was a guy getting graped, they wouldn't give a fuck. So they lobbied Steam and pressured Steam to ban those games. And it's happened multiple times with all sorts of games that do not align with the views of somebody who goes to fucking Blue Sky. So I don't know, man. I agree with this guy, but I don't agree with the idea. Like I don't agree with his specifics, right? Like he just wants games that he likes, but I want it so that anybody wants to make a game. Look, if you want to make a game, in your game you play as the bad guy and you murder everybody, fucking fine. If you want to have a game where you like play, it's like World War II, but you play as World War II Germany, fine. If you want to make a game and it's an adult game and it has adult shit in it, like dark fantasy shit, you want to make some shit like fucking Berserk, right? Berserk has grape. Berserk has fucking all sorts of adult content. It has fucking bro. Berserk has fucking children getting raped. And it's a fucking fantastic series. It's an actual dark fantasy. It's some heavy shit, and it should be allowed to exist. I fucking love Berserk. I think it's great. So if somebody wants to make a Berserk game that shows this shit, they should be able to fucking do it. That's my view on it. If somebody wants to make a game of shit that I don't like, you can fucking do it. That's fine with me. Just let everybody make what they want as long as it's fiction and it's not fucking real. That's my thing. There's a difference between fiction and reality. And there's some people who just refuse to believe this. Since fucking the age of writing, we have people saying, "Oh, you can't read these books because if you read this book, like a book about murder, you're going to want to become a murderer." It's like, shut the fuck up. Just because you experience fiction or a story about murder, or you see a horror movie where people get like fucking decapitated and, ripped apart to pieces in all sorts of ways, doesn't mean that you're going to want to do that in real life. There's a difference between fiction and reality. And there's always going to be people that say you can't fucking do this shit because we think that fiction and reality are the same shit. I say, fuck that shit. Let people have whatever they want out there. And I know I'm a minority because there's a lot of people that always want to censor everything on either side. If you're on the left, if you're on the right, if you're on the center, people always want to censor shit. They always want to control everything. But I say, fuck it. Let everybody say whatever they want to say. Like free speech. Let everybody fucking make the game that they want to make. Let the market decide. If the market thinks that these games suck, then it won't buy it, and these devs won't be able to fund their games. Problem solved. And the last thing we're gonna look at is the so there was EA released the specs for Battlefield. I have it open right here. I gotta put in my age. This is the UK Child Safety Act at work. So this is the system requirements for Battlefield, and they also have a Battlefield official PC trailer. The requirements look pretty fucking good. Like this is a game that's very optimized, and it's not like Battlefield has been unoptimized. To be fair, it's just usually their games have been buggy. That's the big issue. DICE has always been really good with technology. So let's take a look at the PC trailer. I've always been a Battlefield fan. So let's see what's up. It was a little bit loud. Let's see what's up here. Oh, so they have it in ultra wide. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, man. I don't have an ultra wide monitor, but they're fucking cool. I want to get one day when I'm not poor. It's actually kind of crazy how like bad videos. This is a 4K video on YouTube, and it looks nowhere near as good as the actual game. Because I played the game, and the game looks way better than this. Like all of the compression is making this look like worst. And this is 4K. This is fucking 4K bitrate. Ultra wide monitor support. I think that's honestly that should be a requirement at this point. 600 customization options. 600. I mean, hey, I love that shit. Support for Intel, XeSS, AMD. I'm sorry, NVIDIA DLSS. What was that? Global scale campaign. I don't give a fuck about Battlefield campaigns, dude. Battlefield has historically, I mean, you know, some of their games have had campaign, but from the get-go, it was a multiplayer first thing. Battlefield 1942 did not have a fucking campaign. Battlefield 2 did not have a campaign. Battlefield 2142 did not have a campaign. And those are the glory days of Battlefield, in my opinion. Battlefield 2 is the best fucking Battlefield. And Battlefield 3's campaign, Battlefield 4's campaign, they all sucked ass. So I don't give a shit. But hey, for people that like that, enjoy it. October 10th includes optional in-game purchases. And if you buy the game, if you buy the Phantom, what the fuck's the Phantom? Is that the highest one? Is that the most expensive one? It was like, I think like Intel had like a thing that if you bought a CPU with them, or maybe it was their GPU, like you get like the premium edition of Battlefield, the $99 edition. I'm like, damn, they're splurging here, $99. Because, you know, they could just give you like the $70 version, the standard one, but they're like, no, we're going to give you the premium version. Fucking good. Yeah, and by the way, I think the game looks good. I had fun playing the game. It's really nice. It looks good. It doesn't look as good as you'd expect from a normal Battlefield, because Battlefields usually are genre pushing games. And look at Battlefield 2 in 2005. In 2005, people were playing on PlayStation 2s and GameCubes. Yet Battlefield 2 looked like a 360 game. It looked like a PS3 game before the PS3 even came out. That's how crazy Battlefield used to be. Battlefield 3 looked fantastic. Fantastic for its time in 2011. Battlefield 4 also looked really good. Battlefield 1 was incredible on PS4. That was one of the first early PS4 games that actually looked like, wow, so this is the power of the PlayStation 4, right? This is the power of a good PC. With Battlefield 2043, is it 2042? I think it's 2042. 2042, they didn't do that. Instead, they focused on having more players, which I thought was cool. I'm like, this is cool. I actually like the 128 player shit. I thought that was awesome. I just think that the map design was bad, but the player count was cool. With Battlefield 1, they don't have this. There's no 128 player shit. It's just 64 again. And yet still the game doesn't, it looks good. It looks fine. It looks like a fine looking game. But it's not like classic Battlefield. It's no Battlefield 1. It's no Battlefield 5 in terms of graphics. Like Battlefield 5 was the first ray trace game. Like DICE used to always push tech and the boundaries of technology in their multiplayer games. This game seems like it's holding back. But at least it's well optimized. Which again, I mean, so was Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5, generally speaking, Battlefield 1, you know, they were games that ran fine. I ran them on fucking PCs that weren't that great. So, you know, yeah. Yeah, and so the PC requirements, you know, a 3700X, this is the recommended. Let's go to minimum. Minimum is a 2600, which is fucking terrible. It's a shitty CPU. It's a 6-core CPU from 2018. Yeah, it's 2018. This thing is 7 years old. And it was a piece of shit when it came out for gaming. This was not a good gaming CPU. Not a good gaming CPU. Um, and yet this is the minimum requirement, so you can run that fine on this CPU. That's actually pretty. That's actually pretty good. So this makes it feel like the game is quite optimized. This is also a game a CPU from that's a 7-year-old CPU, 6-core. Runs good on it. 16 gigs of memory. That's not a lot. And 5600 XT and a 2060. Both of these are 6 GB cards, so they're not even requiring 8 GB. You know, so this is not bad. And for recommended, they got a 3060 Ti, which is faster than a PS5, and a 6700 XT, which is also faster. So 3700X and a 10700. These are fine. This is gonna run fine on most PCs. And despite this, this is something I wasn't going to talk about, but I will talk about it here. Let me see where it is here. I saw it. Battlefield. What is this about price? $20. Let's see. Battlefield. Where is it? Battlefield 6. Here it is. So Battlefield 6, Deb says a significant number of users play the game below the minimum recommended specs as EA points to the importance of weaker hardware. And I fucking agree on this. You should be able to run your games on, you should be able to pump down the settings to the lowest crap. Like, I remember when Battlefield 3 came, the Battlefield 3 beta, I played the beta in 2011 and I had this terrible a GPU. It was a NVIDIA GT. NVIDIA, I don't think it was even a GT. It was just NVIDIA like 6200 LE. So that's basically, what is that? Think about it like the 3060 Ti or a 5060 Ti. A 6200 LE would be a 3020 or a 5020. Basically a piece of shit for just like displaying video on your PC and not really doing anything crazy. And I played the game, and I played it in the lowest resolution, which I think was like 200 by like 100 or some shit like that, or 300 by 200. So 200p. I played the game at 200p, and it looked blurry as fuck on my monitor. And it was like this tiny fucking window because I was retarded back then, you know. And I remember playing the game at like fucking 30 FPS and going, Battlefield 3 is beautiful. Look how beautiful this game is. That was me on fucking shitty ass hardware. And I had fun. And it was cool. And it was fine. You know? And so I can actually see people doing the same shit here. I don't have the best PC right now, you know. So I played Battlefield 6 on PS5. Um, but you know, I would play it on PC, and if I could run it, I just can't because it doesn't have the game requires you to have like fucking some extra shit on your BIOS and shit like that. But this doesn't surprise me at all. A substantial number of Battlefield 6 open beta players were playing on or around the minimum recommended specs, according to technical Christian Bull. What did he say? He says, we built the maps and had to go to our artists and our tech artists to adjust these maps so they were more performant. We put in a lot of effort across the board to make sure that these performant targets were set. And whether you're on minimum spec or ultra spec, you're going to get the experience we're targeting. Fucking, you love to see this shit. So you can say this again. Whether you're on minimum spec or ultra spec, you're going to get the experience we're targeting. Amazing. Minimum spec is certainly one of our most important specs. It's super important from both a commercial and business perspective. We want as many players as possible playing the game. And this is how you get stuff like the Steam Deck. This is how you get like the Steam Deck fucking playing, you know, games that are like brand new, AAA games like this. That's how. Although I don't know that the Steam Deck's gonna run this because Steam Deck can't run games that are that have anti-cheat. They have certain anti-cheat that doesn't run on Linux. So maybe the Steam Deck won't run this, but like Windows handhelds will. You know, stuff like an old ROG Ally, like a first generation. What do you call it? With Zotac Blaze. I think it's called the Zotac Blaze. There's the MSI Claw is another one. By the way, the name Claw, I don't. It reminds me of like the claw, how you would have to hold your game when you were using a controller, you would hold it in like a claw position and it would give you like fucking carpal tunnel and shit because it's so uncomfortable. But you would do that so you would have more buttons that you can press at the same time. For certain games, like it would work well for Monster Hunter. For Monster Hunter on PSP, people would use the claw, and so would I. um. So yeah, Bull continued with an anecdote from earlier in the game's development. We did a lot of analysis. We did tests on the game we did tests on the game on a wide range of hardware above and below our minimum specs and recommended specs. We figured out what we can hit, what we need to hit from a business perspective, and that was to capture a wide audience on PC. It's super critical. I agree. It is super fucking critical. And you're going to see more of this shit from now on, where these games are going to be targeting Switch 2, they're going to be targeting Steam Deck, they're going to be targeting the Xbox ROG Ally and stuff like that, and the upcoming PlayStation handheld as well that's coming in 2027. So, like, they're going to be targeting these low spec devices, and they want their games to run on everything. But they should also look really good when you pump everything up on a 5090 on PC. So in a follow-up email after the interview, EAPR would not provide the exact number, pointing to Bull's prior statement that it was a substantial number of players. And now I disagree with this. It says the current state of affordable computing in the US, Battlefield's primary target is one of turmoil. Not only a cost of living crisis made the price tag on high-end hardware unpalatable for a significant number of gaming enthusiasts, but ongoing political policy has had a drastic. I mean, come on, like let's look at this shit. Okay, let's go right now. All right, a 3060 was, which is the most popular card on Steam before the 4060 dethroned it. A 3060 in a card that was only 10% slower than the PS5. 4060 is faster. So a 3060 was $330, except it wasn't because of the pandemic, and they were selling 3060s for like $700. So people couldn't, even the regular people that could buy a 3060 couldn't, because everything was expensive during the pandemic, including like PS5s and shit. I remember seeing PS5s on sale for $900. So let's go to PC Part Picker, which is a great place for looking at multiple prices at the same time. Let's go to video card. So what is the latest version? Because they don't really, this is a 3060. What is the newest version, the successor to the 3060 was the 4060, and the successor to the 5060 came out this to the 4060 came out this year. That's the 5060. So how much is a 5060? Right? Let's say I have the same amount of money. I have $330. Am I able to afford a 3060? And keep in mind that the $330 is worth less because of all the inflation we've had since 2020. So let's go and sort it by price here. So let's look for a 5060 regular. And let me put RTX so it filters out, non-NVIDIA cards. Wow. Wow. It's actually cheaper than the fucking 3060 was. It's $299. Wow. You can get it right fucking now. Wow. And there's multiple of them. You can get a Gigabyte, MSI, Asus Prime. The Asus Prime is pretty good, by the way. Wow, you can get it right now in multiple stores in the US. Wow, and B&H. $299 in stock. On Best Buy in stock. Sorry, I keep going to the right because I think it's going to open up on the right. Let's open up. You can get it on MSI store. You can get it on Newegg. You can get it on Amazon. So, wow, $299 in the US. Man, that's crazy. Wow. I thought the tariffs and all that, I thought, that's weird. Okay. Well, let's go back to let me minimize this. It's confusing me. Okay, let's look at a CPU. So what was a CPU, any low-end CPU will do? Like, so let's look at something like an Intel CPU, like a 12400. The 12400 is over spec for Battlefield. It's faster than it's better than recommended spec. All right, I got to go to CPU. This is for graphics cards. So the CPU, and let's remember, can I go back to Battlefield 6? So the minimum is a 2600. The 12400 devours this. The 12400 is faster than the 10700. Let me look at it. Let's go over here to 12400 review. Why do I say the 12400? I don't know, because the 12400 is cheap. Oh no, let's go to Tech Power Up. I like Tech Power Up best. They have a lot more information. So here's the 12400. Okay, and now let's go to 720p gaming. It's 720p, so it's CPU limited. So you're actually testing the CPU. This is what I have actually right now. This baby is old, 10 years old. So is there a okay? So there's a 10700. Okay, and look at that. The 12400 is faster. The 12400 is above it. And with the power limits removed, with the slight overclock, it's above the 10700 as well. Look at that. Okay. All right. So it's faster. Great. Overall, in their game suite. This is all their games tested. So let's go ahead and go to, let's find out how much one of these costs. So 12400. Wow. Wow. What? Oh my God. Wow. $116 for the F version. The F version doesn't have an integrated GPU. You don't need an integrated GPU because you're going to get a 5060 in this example. Wow. So expensive. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. $116 for a fucking gaming CPU. That's faster than the PS5 and PS5 Pro. This CPU is faster than the PS5 Pro. PS5 Pro is slower than a 3700X, by the way. And this is faster than a 3700X. So, wow. Oh my God. The prices. I can't afford $400 for a CPU and GPU. You know, and obviously it's like, you know, you don't even have to buy like the 5060. You could buy a fucking 5050 and that's cheaper. You know, you can throw in this, throw in a motherboard, you know. Get like a cheap motherboard. These are usually pretty good on sale. Wow, $90 for a motherboard. Look at this Asus one for $99. This Gigabyte one. Look at this one. This one's got 5 stars. $90. Wow. Wow, $200 for a CPU and motherboard and $300 for a graphics card. You have a brand new gaming PC. Brand new fucking gaming PC that you can upgrade. Now you could obviously you have to choose some RAM and stuff like that. I could build a I bet you I could build it below $600. And this thing's gonna be faster than a PS5 on Battlefield 6. I bet you I could fucking do it. In fact, why don't we fucking do it right the fuck now? Alright, let's go ahead and get that 5060. We don't even have to get a 5060. We could get a 5050. If you want to save some money. 5050 is like basically a 5060 in terms of price. I mean in terms of performance. So it's $299. Alright. And let's go ahead and grab some memory. I think that CPU comes with a cooler. That comes with a basic Intel cooler. And we're gonna have 16 gigabytes, which is what Battlefield needs. And let me see here by price. And we're gonna, where do I go to? So I put it by two sticks of 8. There we go. 2 sticks of 8 of DDR4. Wow. Wow, look at that. $40. Wow, it's so cheap. Oh my god. That's crazy. Okay, fine. Fuck it. Let's get it. You know, let's get this one because this one's 3600. 3600 speed. So, boom. There we go. Okay. We got the GPU. Now all we need no, didn't I just get memory? Add additional memory. Okay. Storage, fuck it, just whatever. It's just some cheap SSD. You don't even need that. For Battlefield, you don't even need, I don't think you even need an SSD. So, man, that's a good price for that 990 Pro. What do I do? Let me put SSD because fucking why not? And let's get some fucking cheap ass this Inland Professional. No. This one, the SanDisk Plus. Let's see for capacity. Oh shit, I don't like this fucking capacity thing here. Let's put it so we need at least, I don't know, at least as much as the PS5, the base PS5 brings. What, 600? The base PS5 brings like 700. So, okay, we're going to grab this one. It's got good reviews here, this Silicon Power one. Okay, $50 for SSD. We get a cheap case. Case doesn't fucking matter. But get a cheap case. And we can adjust this too. I don't know. It's $40 one. It's a Cooler Master too. What I have, oh, this is a Micro ATX. What I have is a Cooler Master one too. So let's grab this NXT H Flow because fuck it. I don't know. It's a mid tower. That's good enough. And a power supply. Shit, it's already at 600. We're gonna have to adjust some shit here. So 600, 100, 200, $30. Silicon. We could go cheaper on the SSD. We could go cheaper on the graphics card. We could go cheaper on this too. I'm trying to make it fit within $700. But this is I mean, it doesn't have to be like you know, it doesn't have to be because this is faster. This is faster than a PS5, so it's like it doesn't have to be like PS5 price. So we can go for what is this? Is this mid tower? I need a mid tower. No, this mid tower here. Yeah, it looks like, you know. Yeah, we're gonna go with this mid tower here. Okay. Let's choose a power supply. And we're not gonna need high power or anything. We're not gonna need high power. Thermaltake is alright. Thermaltake is alright. Let's Corsair is also good. The best one is the best ones are Seasonic. Yeah. But we're gonna grab something more affordable that's alright. So this one has fine reviews. 500 watts will do. For a 1060 it'll do. 5060. So we are at $674. This isn't even optimized. We can also cut down here on the SSD. And the memory actually. Let's see if we can do a bit better on the memory. Let's see if we can get two 8 GB. What's the cheapest we can go? I guess this Patriot is the cheapest. For 8 GB. Okay. Where are we at? Decline. I hate the cookie things. We're at $625. That's pretty good. That's some good progress there. Now, we can replace... Let me see what we can do a motherboard-wise. We can go cheaper on the motherboard. And put the price all the way to the bottom. No, we can't. Your micro ATX. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll go with the ASRock. And the last thing we can cut down on, but this is a pretty good price, $624 US. You know, for a full-blown PC. You have the case, you got the power supply, you have the graphics card, you have the CPU, motherboard, and memory. You got it all. Full-blown PC, faster than a PS5, $624. $624. Fucking good, man. That's cheaper than a PS5 Pro. And with a way faster CPU than a PS5 Pro. And a GPU, you can overclock this 5060 to be faster than or to be about the same level as a PS5 Pro. The 5060 Ti is faster. There's some crazy stuff we can do. We can actually get if you want, you can actually get a let me see. Let's do gotta check out the 9060 XT prices. By the way, everything that all those Nvidia cards are at MSRP. I don't think these 9060 XTs are, because AMD is gonna AMD. I gotta put RX in front. RX. Okay, so there's a 9060 XT for 250. This is faster. But you can get a let me see, where is the 60? Ooh. Okay, 380. A little more expensive than I would like, because it's like MSRP is, 350, but AMD, like I say before, AMD is gonna AMD. They announce prices that they don't actually have. $700 faster than the PS5. The 9060 XT is a faster GPU than the PS5, faster CPU than the PS5. Run Battlefield 5 much better than the PS5. I'm sorry. Faster than the PS5 Pro. Faster than the PS5 Pro. This baby can game faster than any console. $700. $700, and that's because of fucking shipping. They're charging us $9 for shipping. So, yeah. Fucking yeah. And I'm going to come up with a different build here. I'm going to do a different build. This is going to cut down, and I'm going to go with the 8 GB 9060 XT, which is fine for a game like this. We're going to go RX 9060, and we are going to go the lowest price they got. $249. Fucking good price. That's $50 below MSRP. That's a fucking discount. And this GPU is basically as fast as the other one. It's pretty much as fast as the other one. It just has 8 gigs of VRAM. More optimized for 1080p gaming. So faster than this is gonna give you This is gonna give you better FPS faster than a PS5 Pro, faster than a PS5 Pro. The only downside is the 8 gigs of VRAM, and even then, that's fine for Battlefield or any game that you play at 1080p for the most part. It's you'll be okay. So cheaper, almost as cheap as a PS5. I look at prices all the time. I'm secretly building my dream PC. I look at prices all the time, and I'm just like, "Hey, Fiora, hi, nice to see you. Just a heads up, I don't allow soliciting. So if you're soliciting for any business or services or stuff like that, any paid stuff, that's banned in chat. Um. So yeah, $574. That's almost the price of a PS5. That's basically a PS5 is $550, and you get something that's faster than a PS5 Pro. Are you fucking kidding me? Let's go back to the article. The current state of affordable computing in the USA. Battlefield 6 primary market is one of turmoil. Not only has a cost of living crisis made the price tag on high-end hardware unpalatable for a sizable number of gaming enthusiasts, but ongoing political policy has had a drastic impact on international trade. And while this is true, we're looking at actual US prices at US sites like Newegg and B&H and Best Buy and Amazon, and we got faster than PS5 for $25 more. I mean, come on. Let's be real. I knew he was full of shit. That's exactly why I fucking came over here. Because I'm familiar with fucking PC gaming prices. I fucking knew it. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Who the fuck wrote this? Who is this? Connor McCarr? Do you even live in the US? No, is this a Eurogamer? This guy's probably in the UK or some shit. Doesn't even know what he's talking about. Anyways, all in all, PC gaming is in a good place. Prices are better right now than they were during the pandemic. Prices are probably the best they've been in a while. The only expensive thing that people are make a big fuss about is that the top end, if you need like a fucking 5090, which is like an insane card for like, you know, rendering like fucking, you know, local AI, like having like fucking chat GPT level shit locally by yourself, running it on one computer. Like, that's what a 5090 is for. A 5090 is for like, you know, developing video games, you know, like it's fucking for like fucking doing CAD and shit. It's for like crazy like Blender, you know, usage. That's not for fucking playing Battlefield at 1080p at like fucking 200, 100, you know, 100 of 150 FPS or whatever. It's not for that. So, yeah. But yeah. Thanks for watching the stream, guys. I think this was a pretty good stream. It's probably my longest stream I've had in recent days. This fucking guy got me going here. This fucking Connor McCarr on PC Gaming. And yeah, very excited for Battlefield. Very excited for some of this stuff, and very concerned about some of the stuff that's going on with like the UK Safety Act and stuff like that. Let's hope that things get better. But it's good to talk about this stuff, to get it out there so people know the kind of bullshit that they're gonna have to deal with, and maybe we'll be able to do something about this in the future. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the stream. Thanks, Loyalty, for being here, moderating, taking care of the stream. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.